This episode of The Totally Rad Show is brought to you by Netflix. Go to netflix.com/TRS for your free trial membership. Today, we're opening up the mailbag once again and answering your questions.
Today we're dipping back into the mailbag to answer some of your questions that you've sent in to fans@totallyradshow.com. Feel free to keep sending those for the next edition of the mailbag. Today we're going to start with a question about one of last week's episodes. Hey guys, I've been a big fan of the show for years, and I gotta say, what is that? Or as Alex would say,
what is that?
was probably one of my favorite things you guys have ever done on the show. Here's my inquiry, however. How did you do that? I have a large LAN party coming up at the end of the month, and that would be a perfect game for LAN.
Well,
so
we
that's
can't really,
Jimmy from Minnesota.
Yeah, we can't really take credit for that. That was all Mike. We basically, Dan had kind of conceptualized the idea from something.
What it was.
Did you figure out what it was?
Yeah, because I watched the episode again when you asked me that.
Yeah.
It was that awesome game that you guys should all be playing, that Flash game that I forgot the link for it. Movie object. It's like movieobjects.com.
Right.
That was like you have to guess what it is from the vague object.
Yeah.
Vague object. So how did he do it?
Well, he did it with he used Photoshop, and it was the cutout feature.
And he just kept increasing the...
Well, decreasing, right? It was like you would go all the way to the side to 20 and then decrease it down increments until somebody guessed it.
Boom, just like that. And it was an individual image that he just loaded up individually into images. So the next question is from Adrian Rangel or Rangel or something.
Wrangle?
Hey guys. I was just perusing Jeff's website, and there are a couple of posts on there about the iPad and the Kindle. I'm thinking about buying an iPad or Kindle. Do you all prefer the iPad for reading books and comics, or the Kindle? I do a bunch of nighttime reading, and from what I understand, the Kindle is not backlit. That's why I'm leaning toward the iPad, but not if the iPad gives you a feeling of reading on a PC or laptop. So what do you guys think?
I dislike reading on the iPad, very much so, because it is like reading on a laptop.
Yeah.
And I love reading on my Kindle. Love it.
Daniel?
Read it.
I don't own a Kindle, so I never read with the Kindle. I think I would probably prefer reading on the Kindle in a vacuum. However,
Although you couldn't breathe.
no. However, I read before I go to bed, and the Kindle will be rendered useless. Because one of the things that I like about having this out is when I used to be reading books before I went to bed, and I had a little book light. And that was, it would always go out, it would like not really lights the page in like this like cone, where some of the words are dark.
Just a regular old lamp.
I have a fiance sleeping next to me that doesn't,
Like light?
sleep with the lights on.
Maybe
like
if you loved lamp more than you loved fiance.
Right, but so I love the backlight, and I also love my iPad for comic books as well. Sometimes I really like it, which also is helpful at night because I do a lot of reading at night.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the
but
Kindle
I
for
do
comic
like-
books because there's not color.
Unless you're only reading like black and white magazines.
But it is great. I much rather hold a comic to read it than hold a book. I don't like miss the book with the iPad, but I do miss the comic.
Yeah, I
But I do
really
like
love my Kindle. You guys gave me the Kindle, thank you again.
You're welcome.
And I love the Kindle for reading, but I've actually started reading more on my iPad with the Kindle app, simply because of what you're saying, is where I moved into a new apartment recently and I didn't set up a lamp next to my bed, and so it was like, well, I'll just use my iPad this one night tonight until I get it, and then it just started becoming the thing that I do. And I haven't really noticed eye strain on it, but that's what I was really hoping for with iPad 2 was the new Retina display to increase the resolution and so that it'll be even crisper like it is on my iPhone.
Yeah.
But they let me down.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about iPad 2?
It's just the iPad.
I feel like it's not enough.
Not enough.
New, but I'll be jealous when I see someone else with it, I'm sure. I like the whiteness.
Are you getting white?
'Cause I hate, no.
Here's another one from Tom Tranmer. Hello, gentlemen. I often hear you mention Pixar films in the pantheon of best ever. I would love to hear you rank the Pixar films, possibly top 3. What are your top 3 Pixar films? Dan Trachtenberg, Totally Rad Show.
Top 3, I'd have to say now new and improved Toy Story 3. And then, I mean, there's not really top 3, they all kind of share number 1, but the 3 are Toy Story 3, Incredibles, and Finding Nemo. And Finding Nemo, I think, is both Incredibles and Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo is one of my favorite screenplays ever. And I think that so it's not only one of my favorite Pixar films, it's one of my favorite films, as with Incredibles and Toy Story 3.
Alex Albrecht, Totally Rad Show.
Well, I mean, those three are there. But I really loved Monsters, Inc.
Yeah.
Really loved Monsters, Inc.
Very good.
Yeah.
So what are your top 3?
Was not a huge fan of Toy Story 2 that I remember. I mean, I see it and it's
Story
like
2 is great.
It was good, but
So what are your top 3?
I think there's more of a top 5. Cannot be
But you
ranked.
haven't mentioned, so Monsters, Inc. is 1.
Your 3, Toy Story 3, Incredibles,
so
Finding Nemo.
You've stolen my 3.
No, those
and now
are-
you're adding
No, you were
more.
just the first to talk.
Yeah, I think that's definitely. I think Toy Story 3 is definitely the top dog right now. But Incredibles for me was just so. That was when I was like, oh, this what they're doing is crazy stuff that could be fun and amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
And
me,
then Monsters, Inc.
For me, it's Toy Story 3 and Incredibles. I think Incredibles is slightly, but I need to revisit it because I haven't watched it in a while. And it was, like you're saying, when I saw it, it was the Fantastic Four movie that we'll never get.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so wonderful. But Toy Story 3 is near perfection too. And I think you guys are going to completely disagree with me, but I put Ratatouille up there.
I think that's fair. That was a great
Ratatouille
movie.
is
Yeah.
special to me, and that especially that ending. Joy.
That may be an answer to a question soon.
Or maybe not.
Oh, maybe it's
we're
not.
dancing.
Okay, we're gonna
dancing.
do this question from Danny Flores, who says he watched The Wizard from 1989 with Fred Savage. Of course, we all remember that. He says, I know you must all be very familiar with it, and I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it since probably around 1993, and I had forgotten everything except the last sequence at the Arcade Championships. That's probably how much I remember of it too. I couldn't believe how sad the movie was, but it was a great experience seeing it after so long and still enjoying it. So, have you guys revisited any old movies and been pleasantly surprised or really disappointed by them? Obviously, the usual cult favorites don't apply because you've seen those a lot, but any rarer stuff?
Well, I would concur that the interesting thing about The Wizard is there are parts that are way better than they should be for that kind of movie, and there are parts that are like totally silly and ridiculous, and it's just a Nintendo commercial.
Yeah.
But I think we've brought up in the show before. I was struck by how much the movie Overboard, Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn,
great.
Overboard is still. If it was made today, it would be somewhat similar. I mean, there's 80s-ness to it, but
Her wardrobe mostly.
Yeah. But it really does hold up. Movies that didn't hold up for me, Top Gun. The 80s, there was an era, and even into the 90s, where jobs were like Top Gun, Days of Thunder, obviously very similar. Even Twister, it's like we're like. Jobs, like the whole movie. It was an action movie off of a vocation, you know. It was sort of bizarre. And Top Gun is like I remember it being this like cool action movie, and it's like these dudes are like in school.
Jobs.
I love Backdraft.
Yeah, Backdraft. Yeah.
I haven't revisited it recently.
I actually did just see Backdraft, and it is great.
Is it?
Robert De Niro, amazing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's just-
Russell.
I want to revisit
Kurt Russell.
it.
I mean, for me, the standouts were Robert De Niro and what's his name?
Baldwin.
No. Who's Keith Sutherland? Donald Sutherland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Amazing. That's a
always good.
great mystery. There's a really cool mystery in there. It was really fun. Blown Away, not so much. Revisited that, and I was like,
You know, the big one, I think I even mentioned it on the show, that I revisited that I was surprised at how really great it holds up is Predator.
yeah.
The original Predator with Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
that's a freaking awesome action movie that totally works.
Yeah.
Completely works. Whereas I also revisited Running Man recently, and that does not work.
You know, interesting about Predator 2 is I don't even think the special effects are very dated because there's
Predator
not that
2 or
many.
Predator also?
Predator original.
Yeah.
Because there's that one main special effect and everything else is practical explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nothing wrong with practical explosions.
Awesome. So there you go. Mailbag. Send those questions in, fans@totallyradshow.com. Maybe we'll answer your question next time. We appreciate it. Till tomorrow.
All right, everybody, remember to stick around for this day in rad history. But for sponsors, Daniel Trachtenberg.
Netflix. Netflix is how you
Crazy.
need to rent movies and television shows. And by rent, I mean subscribe. And by subscribe, I mean they get either sent to you in like a business day, or you can stream them instantly on whatever you are watching this on right now.
Pretty much.
Your PC, your Mac, your 360, your PlayStation, your iPad, your iPhone, whatever, it's doing it. The Wii, whatever. You're actually probably not watching this on your Wii, but
They could be.
Can you?
Sure.
Okay. So I highly recommend Overboard. Hopefully it's
Great.
on Netflix. Probably
nice.
is, because
Fantastic
Netflix has
movie.
almost every single movie.
Amazing.
So head over to netflix.com/TRS to sign up for a free trial.
And we will see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow on TRS, we check out the movie Paul.
Today is March 16th, and on this day in rad history, in 1939, principal photography on The Wizard of Oz concluded with the Kansas sequences.
Ooh.
And finished the ended mundane.
And yeah, that's interesting. Nope.
You got nothing? That happened.
Yeah.
Good
I was
movie.
gonna say, and the lead poisoning began of the Tin Man's skin, but it was different.
Boy,
Oh my God!
It
That's,
was
so that
I
was
didn't
in-
say it. Don't ask me to say
just
things
said
when
it.
I don't say them. That's what you get.
at-
It's your fault. It's your
Ilyusha.
fault we're not in Kansas anymore.
At Ilyusha.
Can't click your heels 3 times to get rid of that joke. No.
at Ilyusha.
You know, I'm just gonna try. It didn't work.